Hello everyone. My name is Gregory Luke, and I'm your Advanced Algebra 2 teacher at Temple High School. I'm looking forward to a great year, getting to know you and teaching you Advanced Algebra 2. So in this video, I'm going to go over the Advanced Algebra 2 syllabus, and I'm also going to explain what blended learning is and how class is going to be like for you this year, okay? All right, I'm not going to read through everything in the syllabus. I've kind of highlighted the points that I think we need to talk about in the video, but feel free to read every part of the syllabus if you like, okay? All right, first thing, supplies. The biggest thing you're going to need is a 3-ring binder. I recommend a 1.5 inch with notebook paper. Also, I recommend college rule paper. You get more, I guess, lines. All right, not college, but college rule. College rule paper, okay? But you can use regular if you want. I just recommend college rule. And grid paper. So you want to have college rule notebook paper and also grid paper, okay? Now the reason being is you're going to create your journal throughout the year, okay? And that journal is going to have a table of contents, okay? And this table of contents and all your papers are going to be in the journal, excluding assignments. In your journal, you're only going to have your notes and examples, okay? So let's stop here and go ahead and create your table of contents. All right, now that you have that written out and updated, get yourself a 3-ring binder and that's going to be your first page in your journal. Followed by, notice we have introduction syllabus, that's going to be page 1. Notice that I have page 1 here. So this is going to be your first page, and then right behind it is going to be your syllabus, okay? All right. Chromebook. Students are required to bring their Chromebooks to class every day, and that's because you're going to be in a blended classroom and you're going to be watching a lot of videos on a daily basis, okay? At least one video per day, more than likely. All right. Grading policy. Notice here on yours it says 2, but if you just marked it out, let's write it as 3, okay? Your 3 categories for grades are going to be tests are worth 40%, quizzes or projects are worth 20%, and your daily assignment grades are worth 40% of your grade. Okay. Late assignments. Students who fail to turn in an assignment on the due date may still turn it in with a reduction in points. The highest grade a student may receive is a 70 and must be turned in prior to the day of the unit test. All right. Skyward Family Access for parents and students. Progress reports and report cards will not be printed and distributed to students. Students are expected to keep track of their grades, and parents are highly encouraged to get access to Skyward Family Access online. All right, tardy policy. Students are considered tardy if they are not in the classroom when the tardy bell is finished ringing. All students will be swept to an office for a tardy pass to class and to document the tardy. Students will not be allowed in class without the pass. All right, so that's kind of is your syllabus for Advanced Algebra 2. Now let me, if you would, at this point, you might pause the video and get your parents, because I think it's important for you to watch this and also your parents to watch it along with you, so you kind of understand how the Advanced Algebra 2 class is going to go this year. All right, so again, I've just highlighted the, I think the important parts that I'm going to talk about, but feel free to read everything. All right, your child has an exciting year ahead in my Advanced Algebra 2 class. Things will be a little different than what you and your child are used to. I'm inventing a teaching model known across the world as blended learning model, okay? What is a blended learning classroom? A blended learning model alters the traditional order of how the material is taught. In short, the relatively easy task of taking notes happens at home, and the more difficult assignment is completed in class with a teacher available to help. Now, this alone is a flipped classroom. Now, it's a good model, but it's part of the bigger picture blended model. Flipped classroom had, I would say, a flaw that I noticed from communicating with parents and teachers and just kind of some self-evaluation of myself, that it really missed the station aspect that allows students to learn at different models, okay? Really, flipped classroom didn't have a successful, I think, a teacher-led model, okay? It really just had small group or video lesson, okay? But what a blended model allows is 3 stations. So you have teacher-led, small group video lesson. And while that's important, and I think better than just a flipped classroom, is it has a teacher-led, okay? And that's going to be your traditional model class. Okay, that's where me as a teacher, I'm going to actually go over the lesson from start to finish, notes and examples and so on, and get to the assignment, okay, like you would in traditional classroom. This is your traditional classroom part of the class, okay? But what the Stations allows is not every student needs that traditional model. Some students will have watched the video and yeah, they're like, you know what? I need the teacher to go over it in a traditional way, okay? But some are like, I watched the video, I just need to work with a partner on the assignment, okay? They don't need to work with the teacher in traditional model. Or some students watch the video, they finish the assignment, and they need to watch the video of the next day's lesson, okay? So here you have the students watch the video, they need the teacher to teach it in a traditional way, or okay, or just ask questions on the assignment. But either way, they're getting very intensive, very detailed work with the teacher. Here, now one point to note is that the teacher moves through all these stations. They're going to work with the teacher-led spot, but they're also going to move around and also help the small group and also check on the video lesson students, okay? But the small group, again, is when they watch the video and they just need a partner to work on the assignment, okay? And then, again, the video lesson is for students that watch the video, they complete the assignment already, they just want to work on the next lesson, okay? So, again, flipped classroom is okay, but blended really, I think, helps all students. It helps, I think, within these three stations, that helps the types of students that an advanced academics would have, okay? All right, now, in a traditional classroom, the student takes notes and does the examples during class time. The student has the remainder of class time to start their assignment, but may not finish it. And there's limited time for the teacher to help the student on the assignment. The student will have to finish the assignment at home without the availability of the teacher's help. Now, while notice teacher's help, that traditional model still works for a lot of students, and that's why it's available here in the teacher-led station, okay? But that also model doesn't work for every student because some students just want to be able to work with a partner, or they've watched the video and they don't need the teacher as much and they just want to move on to the next lesson, okay? And that's where the blended learning model, it gives that opportunity for those three types of students, okay? In a blended learning model, the student takes their notes and works some of the examples at home when they come to class. The teacher has a short discussion of the notes and reteaches the examples from the video that the students struggle with. Now, those students in that small group might be working on the examples, or they just might be working in an assignment. It's that's kind of where they're at, okay? But again, it gives them that opportunity of just being able to work on where they need to be, okay? The students will use the rest of the class time to finish the assignment with more available time to ask the teacher for help. And again, that's kind of your small group here. They're going to be finishing their assignment in class, okay? But again, the blended model combines flipped and the traditional model, which really helps all students, I think. All right, why are you using the blended learning model in class? The main reason I'm doing this model is to have more time to spend helping your child master the content of the course. What does a blended learning model require of me as a parent? The blended learning model enables you as a parent to be more involved in your students' math education. Most parents tend to agree that they do not remember much of their high school math classes and do not feel they can support or help their student at all when they are doing homework, okay? Now, you'll notice that I marked out flipped just because last year I really just did a flip model, okay? I started using blended at the end, but at the end of the year of last, I realized, flipped wasn't adequate enough, and that's where I've kind of moved to a blended learning model, which incorporates a flipped and a traditional model, okay? Now, with the blending learning model, there's ways you can help your child. One, provide your child with a quiet place to watch a lecture video each night. Number 3, encourage, and again, I have 5, but I'm really just highlighting the 3 that I think are most important. Encourage them to take their time while watching the video, which means they can pause, rewind, or rewatch. Number 5, understand they are not expected to have the material completely understood after watching the video, okay? And again, that's why that teacher-led model is so important, because they can get that traditional format of learning the lesson, where they can ask questions in class with the teacher, and they can have a really, like I said, a traditional model. All right. What does a blended learning model require of my student? The only thing that is different is the type of math homework they are doing. Instead of completing practice problems, they do not understand. Students simply have to watch the video, take notes, and reflect on the material. What if your student watches the video every night but still does not understand the content? Again, that's where the individualized or small group instruction support is available in the class. That's a traditional classroom model. I'm going to be providing that where I'm just going over what was in the video in the class for those students, okay? Now, if your child does not understand the examples from the video and gets frustrated, they can stop the video and they can come to class to have the teacher re-explain the examples in class. Again, that's where that teacher-led model is so critical in the blended model, okay? All right. Now, for those of you who are visual, and I think as I was taking notes, I felt like a visual model kind of helps best with this. I've taken the time to kind of show you visually what a blended classroom looks like, okay? You have really three stations. You have a teacher-led station where you have the teacher in front of the students going over the lesson in a very traditional format. You have small group station where the students are working on either examples or assignment in small groups with a partner. And then you have a video lesson station where the students are either watching that day's lesson or they're working ahead on the next day or the day after the lesson. Notice that I have a teacher in each section because as a teacher in blended model, I'm moving throughout each of these stations and helping each student based on their needs, okay? Now, I've noted here my phone number and email. If you have any questions of the blended model or any of the teaching practices in general that I have, feel free to call me or email me or just come to school. Probably if you want to have a meeting after school, I'd be more than willing to address any concerns, questions to help you and your student be successful with this class. So with that, have a wonderful Wildcat day.